Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Janet Rogalski, and I'm honored to be able to be here with you for services with Andy Pelletier and Bob Ray. The opening song, which you'll find on page 142, is Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi, Malachi Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachi hashalom, Malachi, Malachi Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Shalom, Malachi HaShalom, Malachi, Malachi Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Tzedchem leshalom, Malachi hashalom, Malachi, Malachi Elyon. Mi-melech, Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh, Baruch Hu.
I'd like to invite Pam Jackson and Ivan Berman to kindle the lights of Shabbat, which you will find on page 120 and 121.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own way, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah
Adonai
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hadlik ner shel
Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat.
On page 124, we read together at the top of the page. We enter this sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to live lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of their truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayer. You'll find Lachad Odi on page 138.
Lechad odi likrat kala, Pinei Shabbat nekabela. Lechad odi likrat kala, Pinei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. התעוררי, כי ברך חום יורי, אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמונם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לכד עודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לכד עודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
You'll find the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה, בעלמא דברך ידותה והמליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי כל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמך מבורך לעולם ולעלמי הוויה. יתברך, יתברך וישמח וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתעטר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמד קדושה בריחו לעילמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו amen.
Please rise for the Baruch Hu, which you'll find on page 146.
Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed.
On page 148, we read together, "Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim."
Ahavat olam Bet Yisrael Amcha avta Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu uv'kumenu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם להות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך. וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We read together at the bottom of page 154. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Take to heart these instructions with which I charge you this day. Impress them upon your children. Recite them when you stay at home and when you are away, when you lie down and when you get up. Bind them as a sign on your hand and let them serve as a symbol on your forehead. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Thus you shall remember to observe all my commandments and to be holy to your God. I am Adonai, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai, your God. On page 158, Micha Mocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים. זה לי, אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגואלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We read together on page 159. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles on earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. On 161, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukkot shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, שבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
Please rise for the tefillah on page 164.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומר חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. מחלקי חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בר גבורות, ומדוע מלך ממית ומחיה, ומציע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
You are holy, your name is holy, and those who are holy praise you every day. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel u'tehil ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael Yisrael Hamecha El Karov Lechol Korehav Pinel Havadecha Vichanenu Shefach Ruachacha Berachamim Baruch
Find favor, Adonai our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer in love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. On page 177, at the top of the page, we read together, God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all of these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha ne'eh v'hodot.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam ki ata melech adon lechol hashalom ki ata Shalom, Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam V'tov b'necha livarech et amcha Yisrael b'chol et u'b'chol shah b'shlomecha Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim leolam Tasim leolam.
We read together on page 179. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, Shalom. We're at the point in our service where we'd like to ask for all of those in our congregation, in our community, in the world, who need a little extra healing, body, mind, or spirit. To that list, we'd like to start with Dr. Roland Loudon, Eloise Rapino, Joel Leviton, Cynthia Bramson, and Ann Kahn. If you have names you would like to add to the list, people dear to you, please do so now.
Dave Saltzman, Mackenzie Pigman.
Ulrich, Jan Schott. The prayer for hearing the Misha Barak is found on page 371.
Sheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We take a moment for some silent meditation.
O say shalom b'meromav. O yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol Yisrael.
In the beginning are among the most recognized words of any Torah portion. According to the Oxford Dictionary, beginning is defined as, quote, the part in time or space at which something starts, or the first part or earliest stages of something, close quote. That certainly fits with Bereshit, which is Genesis 1 through 19. One of the most powerful aspects of the Jewish year. And one of the most powerful aspects of that, of anything, is to give it a name. I once used a set of education materials called Semantics, Language, and Behavior. I loved it. It had great narration, clever illustrations to make a point. Perhaps my favorite part was called Man is the Namer of Things. If that material was being written today, of course, it would certainly be more gender neutral. Its key premise is that humans ascribe names to things or to people. That's the job. It had a couple of examples to make two important points. One is that something given the same name or description may not truly be the same. For instance, this is blue. So is this. These are both blue, but they are not exactly the same. There are subtle differences. That's the same with people. Even people with the same name are not truly the same. The other point is that even though something may retain the same name, the description or meaning may change. A mother cuddles a tiny wrapped bundle, an adorable bundle, and says, "My baby." At another point in life, she may point to a 6-foot-tall man and say, "My baby." He's still her baby, but he has certainly changed from the original bundle at a prior time. Each of us has a name given by God and given by our parents. Each of us has a name given by our stature and our smile and given by what we wear. Each of us has a name given by the mountains and given by our walls. Each of us has a name given by the stars and given by our neighbors. Each of us has a name given by our sins and given by our longing. Each of us has a name given by our enemies and given by our loves. Each of us has a name given by our celebrations and given by our work. Each of us has a name given by the seasons and given by our blindness. Each of us has a name given by the sea and given by our life. This is adapted by Marcia Falk in a book called The Book of Blessings from a poem by a poet named Zelda, Each Man Has a Name. According to Rabbi Andrew Davids, God in this particular biblical text, Bereshit, affirms that humans created in the image of God may seek to bring order out of our chaotic world. It's a dynamic world, but it's chaotic. And he does so by the process of naming. Speaking about the idea of words, Rabbi Eric Moffat says, words can inspire, uplift, and enlighten us. I think if you think about it, they can create something out of nothing. God creates the universe through words. Throughout Bereshit, there is a pattern of God speaking, naming, creation coming into being. Words give us a notion of the past, the present, and the future. While God creates the natural world through words, we create worlds our social worlds through them, using language to name our relationships, establish those, and create order out of chaos in all of our lives. Chaos had a different meaning in the ancient world. To modern people, the opposite of created order is basically a vacuum, nothingness. To those in the ancient Middle East, the opposite of created order was something much, much worse. It was an active, malevolent force which was referred to as chaos. Subduing that chaos takes power. Chaos has a role in many creation stories. Certainly Bereshit is a creation story, but through time and place, there are many creation stories. For example, in a story coming out of ancient Egypt, it states that in the beginning, only chaotic water existed, which they called Nun. The sun god Ra appeared from a lotus flower and gave light to the universe. Ra created Shu, the air god, and Tefnut, the goddess of moisture. These two gave birth to the sky goddess Nut and the earth god Geb. From them, the physical universe was formed. A different way of looking at things. The Jain tradition is very different. They have a very different take on creation of the universe than many other cultures in that it never happened. The creation never happened. Essentially, within the Jain tradition, nothing in the world is ever created or destroyed. They merely change forms. The universe has always existed and always will exist. Time for the Jains is cyclical. Of course, our religious year is cyclical too, but not in the same way as that of the Jain tradition. People are frequently influenced by those who came before them and those who live where they live, with whom they have direct contact. Food customs are certainly an example of that. Look at recipes that have traveled from place to place, or variations using different various ingredients which are found in those different places. All you need to do is look at Ashkenazi and Sephardic Chorosis to know that. In the same way, creation stories where order is created out of chaos in the ancient world have similarities. There's a Babylonian story from Mesopotamia, Abraham came from there, the Amunah Elisha, which may be older than Genesis, with some similar pieces. Briefly, the god Marduk defeated the goddess Tiamat. This is a little bloody. He divided her body in half, with one half being the heavens and the other being the earth. Various other elements were created as the story continues, and toward the end, humans were created to serve the gods. It was victory over chaos. This creation story, interestingly enough, was read by the Babylonians in the fall. It was a part of a 10-day holiday. It was part of the world created by the Babylonians, and it sounds awfully familiar to our fall holidays. I don't think that's an accident. Back to the beginning. There is a difference between beginning and starting. Professor Victor Sad has said that beginning simply happens over time because of forces around you and may lead to an ending. Starting happens because of forces within you. You want to finish what you've started. Starting needs community, courage, and a slight dose of naivety. Bereshit, may we all begin this year considering forces both around us and within us. How will you begin your year? Shabbat Shalom. I'd like to ask Dr. Janine Hutner, President of the congregation, to give us some announcements.
This coming Wednesday, on October 26th at 7 p.m., will be the Men's Havurah. On Friday, October 28th at 6 p.m., Shabbat services. And Saturday, October 29th at 10:30 a.m., Shabbat morning service and Bar Mitzvah of Owen Cruz. Please make sure you check your emails on Wednesday for Temple Talk. They are being sent out various ways. If you do not get them, please call Grace so we can figure out why you're not receiving them. In the Temple Talk, you'll find the latest news of the upcoming events and programs. Shabbat Shalom.
You'll find the Aleinu on page 586. Will you please rise?
לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגואל עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We read together on page 591. Please be seated. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Rise up like the sun, O God, over all humanity. Cause light to go forth over all the lands between the seas, and light up the universe with joy, of wholeness, of freedom, and of peace.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
To lose someone you love is to alter your life forever. The pain stops. There are new people, but the gap never closes. This hole in your heart is the shape of the one you lost. No one else can fit it. Author unknown. At this time in our service, there are those whom death has claimed recently we want to acknowledge. Judy Exonovitz, Janice Edelstein, and Janice Weaver. We name two, those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of whose death occur this week, as we name Robert Barron, Bernice Bunny Berman, Lily Bellman, Manuel D. Cohn, Blanche D. Cohn, Joseph O. Epstein, Ruth Friedman, Joseph G. Gallen, Sabine Geringer, Joseph Goebel, Ronald Goodman, Mark Stephen Greenfield, Alfred Lippman, Julius A. Myers, Oscar Neufeld, MD, Jean Perisky, Frank Poneman, Sophie G. Raven, Miriam Rawitcher, Evelyn Retsky, Ann Katz-Rogalski, Saul Schwartz, Brent Sells, Herman Stern, and Nancy Weisberg. We rise for the Kaddish on page 598. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divarach livutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'mechon v'chayei dekol be'Yisrael, ba'agalav uzman kariv b'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'me'ol maya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yit hadar, v'yit haleh, v'yit halal, shemei dekudasha berechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chayim, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'ramav, huya asei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. May their lives always be for a blessing. Our closing song is Adon Olam, which you will find on page 625.
Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra le'et nasa v'chefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kichlot hakol Levado imloch nora, vehu haya, vehu hove, vehu yeh, betifara, vehu echad ben sheni, lehamshilo lehachmira, Bereshit beli tachlit velo haoz veham Yisra vehu heli vechagoli vetzur chevli betzara vehu nisi umanos li menat kosi beyom ekra beyado afkid ruchi be'edishan be'ahira be'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li velo
Please join us for the Kiddush and Motzi in the hallway by the stairs. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.